Welcome to another episode of Youth, Community, and Lifestyle on Bowie TV. On Read Science, Liz Hinkle talks about her enthusiasm with sharing her love for science with the youth through literature. On the Spotlight DMV, Latoya Davis shares how she's redefining luxury and why her events feel like healing and intentional celebration. Next, we head to VIP in the DMV, where guest Dr. Phil Wesley II shares a powerful message on how to shape a new start, no matter where you are in life. And on Lady Nighthawk, Paula talks about looking out for the unauthorized scams that can show up on your financial accounts. And lastly, the Hair Kitchen, we continue with part 2 of the interview with Ben Matthews, where he shares his passion for barbering and coaching football. There's so much to see on this week's episode of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle.
Hi, everybody. This is Joanne Manister, Science Goddess with Read Science, and my co-host Jeff Schomeyer is joining me. I'm sitting in Illinois, and Jeff is near Washington, D.C., and our guest today is Liz Heinicke, who is in Minnesota. I love the internet. And Liz is a returning guest. She has been on before because Liz has written so many books, and it's amazing. And so Liz is the author of many, many books, including this one today. We will look at primarily biology for kids. Happy to have this book as a biologist. And then we'll bring Jeff, our physicist, along to yeah.
I get to play Dr. Watson today. It's like, I'm sorry, can you explain that biology to me?
I think this book is great
Yes.
for this. So I'm going to go ahead and read your bio in the back of the book, which I thought was actually fun. Liz Heinicke has loved science since she was old enough to inspect her first butterfly. After working in molecular biology research for 10 years and getting her master's degree, Liz left the lab to kick off a new chapter in her life as a stay-at-home mom. She soon found herself sharing her love of science with her 3 kids as they grew, journaling their science adventures on her online educational platform, kitchenpantryscientist.com. Her desire to spread her enthusiasm for science to others soon led to regular TV appearances, speaking engagements, and her books, Kitchen Science Lab for Kids, Outdoor Science Lab for Kids, STEAM Labs for Kids. Oh, I have this one. I have most of your books, Liz, by the way, but this one I could find this one. Star Wars Maker Lab. This was cool that you did this with DK. Yeah. Kitchen Science Lab for Kids, Edible Edition, the Kitchen Pantry Scientist, Chemistry for Kids, and Radiant, The Dancer, the Scientist, and a Friendship Forged in Light, an adult nonfiction narrative about Marie Curie and Loie Fuller. And this was a diversion from your other books, but very good. I enjoyed it. So, but we see you are set up with all your experiments. And along the way, I have some questions because you've done this a long time. And like, what have you learned? You're probably like really good at this now. So, Jeff, yeah. But I'll let you, or Liz, okay. You can say hi to everybody.
Yep. Welcome back, Liz. Yeah, it is nice to see you again after it's been quite a while now since your I think your first book for kids, Kitchen Science for Kids, and we had a little chat at the kitchen table. That was a lot of fun.
And a guest, you had one of your kids with you.
Yes, and as the physical scientist, I did learn a lot of things from this book, and I'm very happy to have done. And I have sometimes my questions to begin get a little out of hand. So I have a very easy question, because I think this is where I'd like to start talking about this book, which is out of the ordinary for the sorts of things we usually talk about, but a very, very nice book and one that kids can enjoy. So this little set of questions, I want to emphasize the subtitle of the book, which is Science Experiments and Activities Inspired by Awesome Biologists Past and Present. And now I want to have a clearer idea of the book as we talk about it. So would you just give us your marketing overview of what age kids the book is for, the activities it's aimed at, and also about the very handy and unique format of the presentation.
Yeah, so I think the target age, according to the publisher, is sort of 7 to 12, but I always tell people there's a lot of wiggle room on both sides. I've actually had a lot of adults tell me that they really enjoyed reading the biographies of the scientists in this book.
Yes.
But I put it together. I've always loved, even when I first started writing books, I really enjoyed sort of researching the people who came up with the concepts I was talking about and who experimented with them and wrote about them. And I think that storytelling is one of the best ways you can teach science. Mm-hmm. And I think that hearing a story of how someone discovered something or reading a story of what someone worked on, and then actually taking those concepts and finding a way to let kids try a hands-on project related to that work, whether it's something, whether it's an actual science experiment, yes, like making agar plates and growing microbes, or whether it's a project like some I'll show you today that just help kids. A lot of biology is really hard to, if you don't have a microscope and expensive equipment, it's really hard to explore it. So I really looked for ways in this particular book that kids could safely explore the concepts. I have a balloon with cornstarch goo in it that serves as a model of a macrophage, so kids can explore phagocytosis. Because it would be great if you could say, hey, just get out your microscope, grab some white blood cells, and let's play with this. But kids can't do that.
Yeah.
We don't want bleeding anywhere.
Yeah. But I had a lot of fun, actually. It's fun to look at historical experiments and try to sort of reproduce them. So I had fun trying to come up with some for this book, and I'll show you a couple of those. But I really wanted to integrate the story of scientists with hands-on projects to make science more memorable and more interesting and more inspiring for kids, because I was able to feature a lot of scientists that a lot of people don't know about, who are really important scientists who were overlooked, because of racism or because of gender, for whatever reason, they've been sort of overlooked. So I wanted to sort of highlight some of those scientists as role models for kids.
You've got a fascinating collection of people in here. And I think I agree with you very much. I don't like to think of science as a history of personalities and discoveries, but science is done by people, and hearing the people's stories are certainly a part of that. And there's some very interesting people in here. And since you mentioned the diversity of the science and over the time scale of what more than 100 years, I thought that was a very admirable thing about this book. And also, I want to commend the illustrations of Kelly Ann Dalton.
Yes.
Particularly.
What a team effort. This book.
Could you, Joanne, if you can find Lab 20, what did I write down the number? Anyway,
Esther Letterberg.
Here it is, Lab 14.
I will get it for you.
Find the picture of Lab 14. There she is. Okay, I want to talk about her as an example. She was one of my favorite examples.
Oh, sorry.
But first,
the camera on this platform.
First about the illustrations. I think it's worth making a positive comment that you have worked hard and found lots of interesting people with lots of diversity and background in gender and ethnicity and all sorts of things. And I loved the illustrations, and not least because it showed us that diversity without having to make it something that had to be discussed in the text or something, not as an avoidance, but just as a built-in part of everything that's happening. That was really brilliant. And
I love this.
The illustrations are lovely. She did a really beautiful job with all the little symbols and things. So it becomes almost I don't know what the game with kids is, but looking for things in the pictures, the little symbols and the little things going on, to see how they associate with the person's biography, are really terrific. And one of the ones that I really remember is this Lab 14, which was inspired by Susan LaFlèche Picotte, who is from the Omaha tribe in Nebraska, born in 1865. And you gave us her biography, where she became interested in public health, and also developed a keen interest in houseflies as a likely vector for diseases in domestic settings, and introduced the idea of using screen doors to keep houseflies out of the house. And I loved the activity you suggested in there, where kids make flies from clay and Q-tip legs, and it involves an ink pad. And I wonder if we could use that as a model to describe how one of these labs is presented. If you'd go over that for me.
I don't have that particular project with me, but I love that project because I try to find things that kids can really relate to. And every kid has seen houseflies, right? Yeah. And I think it's really fascinating. I mean, putting screen doors in houses is similar to hand washing. It's a very inexpensive thing you can do to make a big difference in prevent the spread of some diseases. So in this project, kids build. I mean, I have some Play-Doh here. I don't have any Q-tips, but I can demonstrate it. They build houseflies out of Play-Doh. There, we'll put a head. You know, it should have 6 legs. It has 2 legs. We put little like recycled plastic.
Well, they've researched online to see what houseflies look like at this point.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Online, they recreate a housefly with cotton swab feet, and then they draw some on one piece of paper. They draw some food, for example, and another piece of paper on the same piece of paper. Or they don't even have to draw it. They can take like some paint or ink, which represents something like rotten food or feces, something that has, you know, a bacteria in it, microbes in it that can cause disease.
Yeah.
Listen, DMV, when you know, and if you have been rocking with the Spotlight DMV, you know that my guest today is not a stranger. She is family here. We've had the honor of covering her premiere launch of Rose in the Garden last year. We've popped up at her beautifully curated Box Shop Fest, and we are proud to be an official media partner for Rose in the Garden 2025, one of the most anticipated events of the summer, happening this July. I'm talking about the powerhouse herself, Latoya Davis, founder and CEO of Black Opulence Experience. She's not just creating events, she's creating vibes, community, and culture-centered luxury that's changing the game for how we celebrate Black joy here in the DMV. We're getting into her journey, the business behind the brand, and what's blooming next. You're going to want to sip on this conversation. Welcome, Latoya.
Thank you, Rose. Wow, what a nice intro.
Listen, like I said, you are family now, and I guess I should say welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to be partnering with you again this year for Rose in the Garden 2025. The registration has already launched, but I really want people to get into Latoya Davis and Black Opulence Experience and who you are and what you're all about.
Absolutely.
So give us a little background about Latoya Davis and what led you to start Black Opulence Experience.
Yeah, so I am a Jersey native. I'm actually not from the DMV area. However, I moved here almost 10 years ago now. And, you know, just that saying that if you don't see it, create it. And so, you know, where I was in my life almost 5 years ago when Box was founded, I was looking for like a place and a space where there was us, melanin, but not, you know, of course, everyone knows the DMV is good for a turn up, a brunch, a day party, which is also fun. However, I was looking for a space where we could come together, still have a little turn up, but come together in a curated space where it was elevated. And I felt like I didn't see that, right? So us coming together in an elevated space where we can still have fun, have a drink, have a laugh, but just love on each other in a space where it's safe. It's safe for us to be able to come together and just love on each other, love on Black joy. And I just really didn't see that. I was able to find places where, you know, you had the laughs, where you had the loudness, right? Where you're talking over, yelling over each other because the music is so loud, but really wanting to come together to find people who were like-minded in a space where we could just enjoy each other.
Yeah, and so I love what you said about creating what it is you feel is missing or that you don't see. And you know that I am all about that at the Spotlight. Listen, I popped up
Yes.
with my table in the garden today so that we
Yes.
can make this happen.
Yes.
And I love that we are no longer asking for permission, right?
Absolutely.
Where we're taking things by the reins and we're
Yes.
saying, listen, this is what we're trying to do. This is my mission.
Yep.
And let's move. Let's move it forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I agree. And, you know, like you said, we're here in this beautiful garden. They didn't have a table. So, right. You brought a table, right? And so as they say, you know, don't wait for a seat at the table, create your own table. And so that's truly what Box is. We are creating a space for us.
And so I know people see the end results and, you know, last year it was so elegant, so beautiful, the decor, all the different activations that were offered. There was a saxophonist, an amazing DJ. We made oil. And guys, I'm going to show you all some of that footage. I shared some last year, but y'all are going to see it again because I had an amazing, amazing time. But when I actually met you, Rose Day in the Garden was just a vision at that point.
Yep.
And, you know, we met at a networking event in Laurel.
Yep.
And we were tossing ideas and just trying to figure out how to move forward with it.
Right.
So let's talk about that piece of it, about behind the scenes and maybe some of the challenges that you face while putting together a luxury event that is centered on culture and centered on us.
Yeah. So it's hard. I'm just going to be honest, especially I feel like not being a native of the area, right? So not having a network here, since being here, especially in PG County over the past few years, I've had to be uncomfortable, right? Meeting people, networking, which that is not the uncomfortable part for me. The uncomfortable part is having to ask for help, ask for resources, just ask. And so that was hard for me in the beginning. You know, I love meeting people. I'm a people person. So again, that wasn't the hard part. It was putting myself out there in a sense where I just had to ask for help. And so that was hard, as well as just putting myself out there in general, right? Like saying, you know, this is my vision, and getting folks to come aboard and understand the vision, right? And I got a lot of questions like, okay, this sounds really nice, but is this person invited? And, you know, like, what if someone not non-Black showed up? Like, are they invited? And I got a lot of questions around that. And it was tough at first, but I created this platform. I created this space for us. And so because of that, I feel like I did get some pushback, especially in the initial stages of it. A lot of folks were saying, you know, well, certain other people may want to come. And it's like, I understand, but this is not for them. And so I think that was one of the hurdles I had to kind of overcome, was realizing and just standing 10 toes down and just saying, like, this is a space for us. And I think because it was a unpopular opinion in a lot of spaces, especially when I'm asking for help and resources, that I got a lot of no's. I did. And again, I think it was because folks didn't understand the vision, didn't get to see the vision. And so I think now that folks saw the vision last year, now that we had, Rose in the Garden last year on this caliber, now people understand. And so it has been a little bit better. Of course, another hurdle is funding, right? Finding funding, putting on an event to this magnitude is a lot of money. And so, that has also been tough. That's been tough, trying to find resources, find monies, partner with, other companies, other small businesses, large businesses, corporations. And so that has also been tough, but we're still going. So
no, I love that. And I love that you're pushing forward.
Yeah.
And I found myself too, that sometimes not even sometimes, like, you have to be doing a thing and people have to see it.
Yes, they do.
And you know, because there will be some people that just from talking about it, that they're able to see that vision and want to invest in it.
Right.
But I remember when I was working a 9-to-5, and I was up for my review, and I asked about a promotion because I did get a monetary review, but I also wanted a promotion in title and in the work that I was doing. And so what she said to me was, well, here you have to already be doing those things in order to get that promotion. And I was really pissed off, honestly. I was like, what in the world do you mean?
Right.
But now, being a business owner, I understand fully what they mean. They're looking for people that are already doing that thing and are bringing that value in, and they can see what it is that they are investing in, and not necessarily someone that they have to now train up or whatever.
Right.
And so I fully get it. And I also get the asking piece, right? Because that all goes hand in hand with being able to talk about what you're doing, but not only about what you're doing, about who you are and what your mission is and what your values are. Because I find that people want to not just invest in an event, they want to invest in the person, right? And I know you and I talk a lot about things like this, about, and I'm big on sharing your story. But even for me, it's hard for me to put out about myself and talk about me and what I'm doing. I had a mentor tell me that one time. She's like, you talk about other people so much. Like, I rarely hear you talk about yourself.
Same.
Yeah.
It is tough. And, for me, I have found that also very hard because I created this space and this platform not for me. Like, it's so much bigger than me. And so that has been a struggle too over the past couple of years, because I get that a lot. Like, I am big. I love all things Black, right? And so that is why I created this brand. Again, this event was a vision, a part of it, but really it was to bring Black people together in a lot of different facets. So one of our pillars is partnering with other Black-owned brands. And that means to me, there's enough for all of us to be able to eat.
Hello, I'm Lavita Weaver. Welcome back to VIP in the DMV. I'm truly excited about this program, highlighting people, places, programs, adding value, identity, and purpose to our communities. And I have an exciting guest here today, Dr. Philip Wesley II, and he's going to share with us how to shape a new start. Welcome him on this program. Woo. We have his mom out in the audience.
Hey. How you doing, everybody? Listen, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to be on this program, VIP in the DMV, value, identity, and purpose. Come on.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We love it.
And I love the fact that I met you, and I love what you do. And first of all, some folks may be wondering why I'm wearing this shirt. I'm wearing this shirt because I actually attended recently the Citizens Police Academy of Prince George's County Police Department.
That's right.
And that's where I met you as a chaplain.
Yes.
And the way you actually, what you didn't preach, you prayed. Your presentation was so unique. And then I found out you did a lot more, and I thought you did with all that creativity. So just talk a little bit to the audience about who you are and what you do.
All right, thank you. Dr. Phil II, shaping your new start. I believe everyone needs a new start. So there's a few things that I do. I'm a motivational speaker, a new start coach, a pastor, and also a police chaplain. So
wow.
I try to juggle those things, father of four, husband, and just try to do my best to add value to everybody in my atmosphere.
That's amazing. And we were talking earlier, and especially what's going on in our society today. so many people, want a fresh new start. So how do you start? Like, what area do you talk about? Is it the family? Is it career? Is it ministry? Like, what area do you actually help folks achieve as far as starting all over again and starting fresh?
Absolutely. Listen, it applies to so many different people. It applies to students,
Okay.
because they might not have started off the year well, but they need a new start. They need to know they can start over. They can study different. They can apply themselves differently in order to achieve the success that they're looking for. Maybe they're not looking for the success. Maybe they're just happy being average. I'm here to tell them they're not average.
Wow.
I'm here to tell them that there's something special about them. I'm here to tell them that they can have success not just by talent, but by grit.
By grit. Explain what grit is. I love the way you said that.
So I formed it out of this book by Angela Duckworth. Her book is on grit.
Okay.
And the things that it talks about, students can achieve their success with talent, but also with resilience, with inspiration. So I developed the concept of grit into my own words: guts, resilience, inspiration, tenacity. I believe that you don't have to be the smartest in the room to achieve success, but you do have to be the grittiest one.
Wow, the grittiest.
Yes.
I love what you said, but also, do you believe, we were talking earlier, and do you believe that all children have something special?
Absolutely.
Then how do you pull that out? Because I know a lot of times people compare children, say this child is talented, this child is smarter, this child is better, or this child will achieve certain goals based on our expectations. But how do you actually work with the children to let them know they all have something special?
You really have to observe. You have to see where they thrive best. Some may not thrive with a test. Some may thrive with hands-on. And so you have to know, are you more of a behind the scenes type of scholar? Are you one that's in front of the crowd type? Are you the leader type? Are you the type that can support? But everyone has their gift, and everyone has their niche, and everyone has their place in this world. They've been given a gift. And so it's our job to identify that and really push them in their passion.
I loved it, what you said. And that's what value, identity, and purpose is all about.
That's right.
Because I believe all of us have value within. Value is intrinsic.
Yes.
It's not based on external factors.
That's right.
All of us have a unique identity, and everybody has a purpose. So I love the fact that you said that we have to first observe, identify, and then what after that?
And then just really encourage them to get into their purpose. Even for me, my calling came from other people saying, oh, when are you going to be a preacher? Because I wanted to be a rap artist.
You kidding
all my
me?
teenage life. That's all I wanted to be. But I knew I had a message to tell the world.
Okay.
Because even as trying to be a rapper, I wanted to give a positive message. I always wanted to keep it clean, wanted to keep it positive. The people in my group, I said, hey, there's no cursing, but we're going to keep it positive. And that's been my lifelong mission. I just didn't know how to center my voice when I was a teen, but now I know even better than before.
That's awesome. And I remember your prayer during our graduation ceremony at the Citizens Police Academy, and it was very, very intriguing, and it was rhyming, and it was enthusiastic, it was inspirational, and it was truly unique. And I call that your whoa factor. Because in addition to VIP, I talk about whoa factor, like that wow originality.
That's
what
right.
make you actually unique. So if you had to actually say, like, what is that thing that makes you so unique, Dr. Phil II?
Just using,
what is your wow originality?
Yeah, just using every part of my creativity to send a message, whether it's through design, whether it's through poetry, whether it's through public speaking and preaching and praying. Definitely prayer is one of my bigger factors, right? I'll go to different places to pray. I'll write my prayer in a rhyme so that it seeps through, it gets to somebody's heart in a way that they did not expect. They're like, wow, this is a prayer, but this is more.
And tell me about being a pastor.
Oh, it's great. It's a great thing. Being a pastor, every week I get to go up and encourage somebody, let somebody know that God is crazy about them. Crazy about you. He's just crazy about you. that no matter what you're going through, there is a God who loves you with the unconditional love. There is somebody very special. And even when I go to the schools, I can't preach God, right?
Right.
But I can still preach God. I can still send a message from God. I was talking to a young man who claimed to be atheist in the school.
Claimed to be atheist.
Claimed to be.
Claimed, okay.
But he was hurt, right? And he didn't see the value of God at that time with all that he was dealing with. But I said the reason why we're talking right now is because somebody loves you very much.
Wow.
Somebody cares for you. And I believe that people just need to know that there is somebody who loves them unconditionally. No matter how many times we mess up, he helps us get back up again. And he helps us shape a new start. Really.
That's a thought I just had.
That's right.
That's a thought I just had.
The new start starts with God.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
And he did everything he could to restart the earth. He started our life over.
Yes.
He did so many ways to give us a new start, especially dying for us. So I always like to center that message.
You know, personally, recently I've had to start all over, a fresh new start, over 60 years old. And I know so many people starting over, and sometimes it can be challenging. You know, not just for young people, but you can feel like you're too old. You can feel like your time has passed by. You can feel like, oh, maybe it's too late for me to have a new show, VIP in the DMV. Or maybe it's too late for me to go back to school. Maybe it's too late, you know, for me to start to pursue that dream and that goal. How would you encourage somebody older?
You know, I wrote a book called 6 Ways to Shape Your New Start. It's an ebook, and I believe that first you've got to own your past. Right? You've got to say, hey, listen, this happened in the past. Divorce happened in the past. I've been through a divorce. I know what it is to start over again. As a matter of fact, before I reached 8th grade, I went to 5 different schools.
What?
Just for different reasons.
Okay.
But 5 different schools. So I had to start over again, build new relationships. But it made me stronger in building relationships. It made me more focused on not having to fit in, but having the right fit.
That's good. That's real good, having the right fit. And so do you think some of our past can give us the resilience and the tenacity we need? I heard you mention grit, and you mentioned tenacity. So do you think overcoming some of those challenges is what it takes to have that tenacity?
Absolutely. When you start over, you're not starting from scratch.
Right.
You're starting from all the experiences you've had, the highs and the lows, the ebb and flows of life. So you have more maturity now. You have more to lean on from your past to look into the future. In fact, Dave Chappelle, a comedian, when they asked him about, oh, do you think it was a failure that you left TV and did this and that? He said, listen, failure is education.
That's good.
Failure is education. What did Thomas Edison say? He says, I didn't fail 10,000 times. To make the light, right? I found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
Right, exactly. Until he discovered the way that worked.
Right, yeah, it took him that long. But sometimes it takes us a while to figure it out.
And that's a very good perspective. But the reality is, like for me, I know you mentioned you're a pastor, you're in ministry, and I've been in ministry over 30 years as well, talking to a lot of women specifically.
Yes.
And a lot of people have regrets over the past, and they can't move beyond those regrets. And that is what, like a stumbling block in starting over.
Yeah.
So how would you encourage somebody on and how to not focus on the regrets, how not to let the regrets keep us down, but to move beyond that and use it as a learning tool for success?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Lady Nighthawk Show, where we talk about interesting topics, and we have people that come on and sing, dance, and you know, we just do a lot of different things here. But when it's things that we find out that is very important to you, because we realize that a lot of people are not watching news channels, but the people that do watch us or approach us and let us know, oh yeah, I heard that, you know, we want to make sure that we give you pertinent information. I'll call him my co-host. He's going to introduce himself to you. You know him. He's a household name. You know, he's a favorite, okay? So introduce yourself. You don't have to, but you do, okay?
Well, thank you and good evening. My name is Donald Bell. I'm an attorney here in Maryland. I'm based here in Prince George's County. I've been here in the county for the last 20 plus years, and I love serving the community here. And I am so happy to be back here in the studio with you. And thank you for inviting me back.
And I'm always glad when you accept.
Yes.
And you have some things here that are very important that, we need to try to cover this show.
Sure.
Because we got off, I just went off on a tangent because that was on my mind on the other show. And I just wanted to make sure I got it.
Well, you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that.
But these are very important topics that you gave me. And one of them is we talked about, and I had one today, I was telling you earlier, about scammers and what they're doing to season and the growing threat. So why are seniors targeted?
Yeah, so this has really been on my heart. We've talked about it. We sort of hit on it before. But, there's a growing problem with seniors being targeted with scams. I thought maybe we should just take a few minutes and sort of address this, because I think many people who watch the show are seniors. And, these people are good people. And sometimes they're being taken advantage of. So it's not that, seniors are less. We just want to see if we can empower them with knowledge. So when people come at them, or when the scammers come at them, they'll know how to, handle these situations.
Yes.
Because there are resources. A lot of seniors don't think that they have resources, but you have resources. A lot of you have, you have Social Security, you got pensions, you got, 401ks, you got like annuities from the federal government. So you have these resources, but those resources, they aren't like, it's not like you're out working and can work overtime and things of that nature. You got to use these resources to pay for your, for your housing, to pay for your food, to pay for your medication and things of that nature. And what we don't want to have happen is situations where those limited resources are being used for others, are being taken and being scammed. I don't want you to lose your house. I don't want you to lose your savings, because you've worked a lifetime to sort of, acquire these things. And you worked a lifetime, even if you just have Social Security, you worked a lifetime to be able to have that. And, that Social Security is for basic needs and necessities. For most seniors, it's not like you got extra money.
It's none. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
It's no extra money.
Yeah.
You have to, if your medicine is not coming out, of that, then and the medicine's not covered under, Medicare or WellCare.
Yeah.
Then you have to come out your pocket or go to one of your kids or family member. Okay.
Yeah.
When the utility bills come around, if you live alone,
Yes.
because we know that the electricity and stuff, unless somebody puts a stop to it and they give us a credit, out of this world, for it, because this is the first time in a long time that the temperatures of it's been as high as they are, and you've had to run your air conditioning. But I manage mine to a T. Okay.
Yeah.
Once the house get high, I turn it up so it turn off. Then I try to cool the house at nighttime, so then the daytime is already cool, and I can turn it off for a period of time. So you got to try to. You don't have to let that thermostat run all the time. And if you don't have a fan, buy one. Okay. Because while the house is cool, you kind of can cool off an area where you're going to be.
Yeah.
But like you said, Social Security. You can't make it off of Social Security these days.
But what we don't want to have happen is that scammers who are contacting you, and I thought, before the show, before the first show, you were telling me about, because one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was, some of the Medicare scams that are out there, where people are calling you and they're trying to get your personal information. They want your Medicare number, they want your social, they want your date of birth, and they know things about you, and you're wondering like, it must be legitimate. So, I want to turn the floor over back to you so you can tell us about what happened to you, because I think it's very relevant.
It's right on this paper, okay? But I do want to read some of these bullets, because it's very easy for them to kind of comprehend if I read some of your bullets first.
Sure.
Because it says, how the scammers get over on the seniors. And he wrote, we target often home during the day and more likely to answer calls. Now, sometimes senior citizens just like to talk to somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how they know that. So that's how they get them there, because they know that their home, might be
But be
by
careful
themselves.
about what information that you're giving people.
That's right.
Anytime somebody's asking you for your Social Security number, your Medicare number, your date of birth, and they start talking to you like they know information about you.
Then it's time
whatnot.
to get off the phone.
Yeah, be careful about other information you're giving, like your maiden name, because a lot of times you may be using stuff like that for passwords and stuff like that.
Right.
So you got to be careful about that information,
Right.
because one scammer may call you, then another scammer may send you an email, and and before you know it, all your information is out there.
Right.
You know, like they may not ask you for your full social, they may ask you for the last 4. You know, and then this scammer asks you for the first 4. You know, and you give in the last 4 here, the first 4 there. And then before you know it, somebody has your social security number or your date of birth.
Yes.
So you got to be careful about that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are more trusting and unfamiliar with modern scam tactics, which we're going to talk about a few of them. And some have memory or cognitive issues, making them more vulnerable. And they know, so, they know who to target. If they talk to you one time, they know who to call, right?
Yeah.
So common scams targeting seniors is Medicare scam, fake calls asking for Medicare numbers, tech support scams, fake pop-ups or calls claiming infections on your computers or your phones. Grandparent scams, fake grandchildren calls, asking for bail money. Oh, that was a big thing at one point, okay? And romance scams, online relationships that ask for money. Now, I don't know nothing about that, okay? I see the commercial.
But that is a big thing. I've had clients who've actually come into my office, and I've had ladies who've had, and gentlemen, who've had to file bankruptcy because they have emptied out their bank accounts. They have ran up their credit cards, and they have some person online that they've been involved in a relationship with. Never met this person, but they've been involved in this relationship. They may have even FaceTime this person, done a Zoom call or something like that, and and they're supporting these people. Or it may be a situation where they say, hey, invest in this business with me, or invest in this business, and these people are like, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's a scam.
Right.
So just be cognizant and be careful. And I think something that you really, really need to do is, if somebody's asking you for money, or then be careful about sending somebody money. If somebody is telling you, hey, I want you to send the money through Western Union or through MoneyGram or Zelle, or they want you to go and do the crypto thing, because I think there are machines where you can go and take the cash and put it in the machine and send it off, via crypto or something like that, or they want you to go get a gift card or something like that. No. That's
a flag.
No, you need to hang up.
Yep.
You need to log off.
Yep.
Okay? If somebody's asking you for money,
and block it.
Take some time. Take some time. Don't send the money right off. Because I know it's easy to send it through Zelle, like what you just said, or Cash App or something like that. But just take some time. Go have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And then talk to somebody.
Yeah, talk to somebody. And that's
talk
what do you
to somebody.
think about this?
Yeah.
Before you just say yes to somebody.
And send off your money.
And send your money off.
Yeah.
Oh no, you definitely need to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
They call your office and ask,
Yeah.
Does this sound like it's a fake call,
But if you call my office, then I'm gonna really be upset at who's trying to scam you. So, I'm gonna be trying to use every resource that I can to sort of figure it out. But some of these scammers are not even but they're not even in the country.
Well,
so we can't even use,
some of our laws
to even enforce trying to get your money back. One of our good, one of our colleagues, Mr. Levin, I was in his office, and there was a company that had scammed this older couple out of $4,000 to try to help them with a loan modification.
Wow.
And he worked the phones, calling the senators. I'm not going to say the senator's name, but they helped, and he was able to help them get their money back.
Van Hollen probably was.
It was.
I know it is. Because
you
Van
said
Hollen
it, I didn't.
He's on the point.
You said it, I didn't. But yeah,
Van Hollen.
But they
PG County though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, these scammers, they're out there, and you don't need to be sending your hard-earned money to these people.
Yeah, I tell people about Van Hollen all the time, because he really is really good congressman,
Yeah.
and he has a good staff.
Yeah.
That will, if you tell them what the problem is, if they can fix it, they're gonna let you know, and
Yeah.
they right on it. You know, so I always talk about him. Okay, so it's okay. I'm in PG. He's my rep. Okay, I can talk about
I got
him.
you. Okay.
So, but this thing that I was worried about was about the romance scams online, relationships to ask for money. Well, you know what? When they first started that, I was telling some of my friends, right? We were younger, and they were going online. I said, why are you going online meeting somebody that you know nothing about? Okay. Well, it's just like me going in the grocery store and meeting somebody. I said, no, it's not. Because in the grocery store, at least you have face-to-face contact with them. You can give up your number or not.
At the time, this is my first time really having to deal with this type of situation, and
did you hit him back here in the hairline? Oh wow! Okay.
It was rough. So, what I learned in that moment was, I was like, well, shoot, okay, well maybe I could do something to kind of cover it up, but the way he wore his hair,
and you said comb to the back.
Yeah,
so
it was just like somebody got you. Yeah. Somebody got you for real. So, but
when he woke up, was he upset?
So that's the thing. So I continued shaping him up, even though he had a little ditch right in his front hairline, and then I turned around and showed him the mirror as if nothing happened. That was a mistake that I made.
Okay. I can agree.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I've done that before, but I totally understand when I said no more. Yes. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with your hair before I get started, because I want you to know what I'm seeing. Sure. So that when I'm finished, you don't see it and think it started here. Yeah. Right.
And so, and also at that time, I had a different approach to cutting people's hair. So I think, I watch these videos and I see barbers put their hand on top of the head, right? And I think they do that for a reason.
Yes.
However, I don't like that practice because I think it's very unsanitary. One.
Okay.
Right. I don't even care if you're going through gloves, and I don't think it's makes the experience pleasant for the client with your hand.
That's how I learned.
Right. But a lot of people do.
Old school barber.
Right. So
little boy falling asleep.
Yeah.
Grab
and sometimes you have to, right? Yes. But back then I didn't like the practice, so I didn't do it. And I also didn't have the technique. So what I do now is I use my middle finger and I place it on the head. So if the head moves, my hand
goes with it.
Right.
Is a guy.
Back then I would just kind of hold still so I can get it straight. Now it's like not only will I not try not to let you sleep, but if you that tired, I have a unique thing that I do with my finger, and I put it on the forehead. So wherever that forehead you turn, with my hands going with you.
Yeah,
it's going with you. So.
I agree. I don't like gripping the head either. I learned that way. It works when I'm dealing with little children who aren't sitting still, because he watched me chase this little boy around the chair for an hour on a Caesar. And he came and stepped in. It wasn't an hour, but it was a long time. He came, stepped in, gripped his head, was done. I was like, okay, Mr. Campbell.
Not messing around.
So I don't do it at all with my clients. And I'm the opposite, man. I'm like, fall asleep. I'm getting done.
Yeah,
you should be over here. I'm going to be curling right here.
For sure.
So, but I understand everybody has different practices in their chair, but yours valid for what your experience was. You come up with a technique that helps you even if they do. Because you don't physically say, don't fall asleep in my chair, but I do know stylists who will be angry if you fall asleep. And I'm like, fall asleep. More time for you to just knock this out.
For sure.
You could be over here.
For sure.
And like, dang, G. I'm like, she all right. She don't wake up, I'm going to be done.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. That was some good insight. We left off one of your accomplishments, that you own a salon. I want to get right into that. Y'all forgot to say, he's also a salon owner, and that's how that is not how we met. That's how we met the second time. The first time it was in the school business, but I was so happy when I was looking for a place to work. And I'm telling you, from when I stepped in the door, I was like, oh, this is nice. It's just the energy and the vibe that I got, and that you and your wife are business partners. You work together, and I was like, he's been in the business a long time, and then on top of it, meeting you through the school business, you just get somewhere and you go, I'm home.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not gonna come in and people doing all kinds of disrespectful things in my space because they're not really in the business and they don't understand there's a code of ethics that we practice when we work. You can leave your stuff all over the place. I'm not messing with your stuff.
For sure.
I'm not gonna be in your space on a Friday building a bowl or taking apart a chair when Friday is not the day to do anything in the salon but get your clients done.
That's it.
And the barbershop, but get your customers done. That's it. So for the salon owners out there who don't know, they probably should ask somebody because we can help give you guys some insight. It's just things you don't do.
Facts.
So
Facts.
Tell me a little bit about the salon journey. And you guys started before you got here and then came to this location, right?
So this specific journey?
Yes.
Okay.
The salon ownership.
Okay.
Barber salon. It's the African American hair gallery, which I like. And you can tell us a little bit about that.
So this was a journey. My wife and I, we have been married for 4 years, and
very nice.
You know, part of our courting season was a lot. We did a lot of planning, right? Mm-hmm. So she's a former salon owner. I own my own barbershop prior to us getting together, and they both failed, right? For whatever reason, they both failed, and I actually didn't even have any interest in opening up another salon. I feel like that's the second time I didn't have interest in something, and it just kind of grabbed me.
Pulled you in it, and it's been successful.
Right? It's been successful, right? But you know, we always planned, and we would have little projects that we would try to accomplish, like, you know, financially or whatever. So I actually have this documented, but I have So I have a one Sunday evening after church, we were at her place, and we were just dating at the time, and her sister came by, and we had a conversation about just, you know, going into business and starting your own business, and her sister had some questions about like what it takes. And I don't know if it was just the subject of starting something that kind of woke something up in me, and it was Sunday. It was a Sunday evening, and it was pouring down rain.
Oh wow!
Pouring down, and long story short, the conversation came to an end. Her sister left, and we just talked. We just talked about kind of what we wanted our futures to look like, and shortly after a 10-15 minute conversation,
it was longer than that.
Yeah,
I know you.
So she was like, she said, are you feeling something? Are you hearing something? I said, yeah, I think it's time. And I wasn't really specific about what, but we were on the same page. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I think we should open up a salon. But it's got to be unique. It's, you know, we would go down a list of different things that we thought it should include and entail, but we also wanted to make sure that it was a place kind of refuge, right? Mm-hmm. No matter who you are, you come in this place, you felt like it's a place of love. It's a place where I could spend a little bit of time and, you know, get service and feel like, man, this is where I want to bring my children. This is where I want my friends to come. This is where, this is the place to be, you know. And it was based off of how we treated people. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily, it didn't have to be the most beautiful place or to have the best lighting, but we wanted to be able to treat people in a way that we felt like people should be treated.
I second the motion.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it started.
Because you know, in those salons, some salons are just, oh, they so fabulous, and I've talked about them on my social media. But you go in, you like, the people are not nice. Yeah. You know, you in there for hours and hours wishing you were somewhere else. Yeah. So less has always been more for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, interesting enough, my wife is originally from Nigeria, her and her family, and I'm from America, Tacoma Park, Maryland. Right. So, right. So, even when we came up with the name, we would, like, I literally have this documented. We were talking about, like, all right, so this is the fun part. What do you name it? And I I didn't say, and I think she said something about African American. And I looked at her, I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Wow. And so what's interesting about the name, the African American Hair Gallery, is we wanted to take two different cultures, right? And come up with an amazing experience. That's what we wanted. So one thing that I didn't know about the African culture, or more specifically Nigerian culture, was how celebrated the people are, right? So growing up in the States, you just are not taught what I like to say, the truth about what Nigeria is, what it looks like. One of my first experiences within the culture was at a wedding, and just to see how they celebrate one another was exactly what I wanted to do to a community. Right? They celebrate, they compliment, they love on, they give their money to, they give their time to. They do. And they just have something that I feel like I never had. Right, and I grew up with my mom and dad, and they love me and all of that stuff.
Exactly, but it's different.
It's very, very different. So that's kind of what led to the African American, right? So you have two different cultures coming together to present one ordinary experience. So that's kind of how we started. That's where the heartbeat lies for what's to come. And I don't have the picture with me. It's actually out in the waiting area. But if you ever visit, there's a large painting that somebody painted specifically for us.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful black woman in the front of it, but it has DC in the back, right? It has the Capitol, it has the monument, but it's painted in African colors.
Yes,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
We'll get you guys.
It's an amazing piece. And I'm forever grateful for that piece. Actually, one of my clients believed.
He's an artist.
No, so one of my clients believed in the vision, and did it for us. So he commissioned an artist to come. So we literally sat down, had a conversation about where we were from, and said, "Do your thing." And that's what she did.
That's how you did something extraordinary like that. That's very nice.
So it's an amazing thing.
Okay. All right. I love that. That's a great story.
Yeah. Did I answer your question?
You sure did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. How long have you guys been here?
In the building?
At this location. Because didn't you guys come from somewhere else?
Oh yeah. That's the part I love. So 4 years. So prior to we were a mile and a half away down the street at Phoenix Salon Suites. Okay. And that's actually where we met.
Okay.
That's actually where we met. And we worked together for about 2 years before we started dating. Okay. We were down there, and I actually had a barbershop in Hyattsville that things didn't go well. I had to walk away from it. So my journey took me to Briggs Cheney for a year and a half. And when I left there, I went to Phoenix, and it was a kind of a leap of faith for me, because I went from having all of this clientele over the years to when you start moving around a little bit, like you lose people, right? Some people, they will come to you out of convenience, and those are what I like to call customers, right? But then you have people that go with you. Those are your clients.
Those are your clients.
Right? And so you find out very, very quickly when you move and you start texting people, "Hey, yo, I relocated." They be like, "Well, good luck with that." But they were really patronizing you out of convenience, more so than anything. So,
and those are similar to the ones who are with you with the price.
Sure.
Because then as you grow and you have to grow, the people who were with you for the price, you had great work, but they were there for the price. For sure. They fall off.
They do. They do.
And that makes room for people who are not going to be there for the price.
Facts.
That clientele can continue growing.
Absolutely. So what's made it? And so we were at Phoenix Salon Suites. We were there. She was actually there for 8 years. It just our reason. It's funny. Our reason for leaving there was because of COVID. And so we actually opened this during COVID.
That was amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So again, a big leap of faith.
Was Phoenix closed during COVID?
So that's what I'm about to get to that part. Okay. So what happened was we were already working on this, right? We were working on it, and so I had a great team, contractors come in and renovate the whole place. They did it fairly quickly. And this is when the buzz about COVID was really
Just
getting.
starting.
Yeah, so this was late February, something like that, right? Then we got to a point where, the government or the CDC would put out all these suggestions about what people should do and if you're essential or not. And I never forget, we went to work one day. I think I had 2 or 3 clients. Like on a Monday morning or something like that. And the lock was on the door. You couldn't get inside.